I think we're live, maybe not. Are we live? Are we live? Are we live? I think so. And that comes with a lot of interesting things. The crypto market is, I'm trying to move my camera a little bit. I want to say, the crypto market is juicy right now. You guys will see it. Let me just quickly give that a little twirl. There we go. Oh, my days though, huh? Let's wait for a couple of people to hop on in and say hi. But damn, we're pumping, boys. We're doing good. Ooh-wee. So, for all of y'all that have been living under a freaking rock, Bitcoin, right, has been going exactly as expected, breaking out and pumping. Right now, $110.6 thousand a coin. And the funniest thing, ladies and gents, this is nothing. Still, in the grand scheme of things, we all know where we're headed. We already had the target for the breakout. We already been talking about where we're headed. Hey, it's all a matter of patience, my friends. But we all know where it ends. It's just a matter of time. In the midst, I want to quickly show you. You guys know that I posted a video. Let's see here. I posted this October 2023. Just for fun, if you ever have time, look at this 15-minute video from October 2023, so almost 2 years ago, where I'm in the mountains of Vietnam, I believe it was. I'm not 100% sure. I think it was Vietnam. In a hammock. I made a few videos, actually, talking about crypto prices and my top coins. You know the funniest thing? Back there, I already said it as well. You just got to shut the frick up and buy those coins and shut up. And really, when I look at some of the videos I've made over the years, it's all so obvious in hindsight, right? I've also got another video here. Let me quickly show you what the title of this is.
A lot of you guys are asking me, Dusty, what are we going to do once the bull run hits? And today, I'll be explaining to you guys two different things. First of all, our strategy. And second of all, our mindset, which also has to do with strategy. But as you can see, the reason I am sitting here right now is not because it's extremely fun. Because even though it is, it's actually to prove a little point, which is you need multiple bull runs for the most part to get to where exactly you want to get, right, for most people. But in this video, a lot of you guys asked me.
Man, this was so raw. I remember that. I remember it was like, I edited it wrong. I was like, should I keep it in? I'm like, yeah, I'll just keep it in. It's really funny, huh? See, that's the real me, though. It's just how I go about these things. Anyway, so I wanted to quickly show that because it's been so funny. I was watching it just now. But over these years, really, one of the most important things I've told people time and time again is that if you just keep consistently enough buying, literally that, it's almost impossible for you to lose. I've said that before. I mean, as of this point, there are 0 people in the world that have lost money on Bitcoin that were not doing something crazy, right? And from that perspective, I keep saying it. If you just are not too distracted, it's hard to lose, man. It really is. And anyway, those bots things. You know how many people comment saying, Dusty, please stop talking about your bots? I don't get why. It is so good. It is so ridiculously good, the system I've set up. I don't get how people are mad about it or why they wouldn't want to hear it, even if you're just a hodler. These things are amazing. Let me quickly, give me 1 second. Let me quickly grab some. All right. Just grabbed it. By the way, I've been doing a lot of cool stuff here the last few weeks, and I'm also thinking I'm going to show more things, like in terms of videos. I just bought a new camera as well. If somebody is good with cameras, do let me know. It's a Fujifilm X106. I just bought it. I've never used it before, but I thought, I should actually make more videos. I have so many cameras. I have one there, one there, one there. I only use one though. Let me see. There's another. Nah, you don't need to see. There's just another small camera there. I was like, I should do multiple angles. I've had them for 3 years. I've never done multiple angles. Like a few days. So there's side notes, man. I'm so freaking excited, guys. I can't even describe it. I can't describe the excitement I'm feeling right now. I really can't. And it's not even that my positions are doing amazing. They're not. I mean, the XRP trade is still down like 50%. It's just the fact that right now we're on pace to just break greatness. That is what I'm excited about. right? Because if Bitcoin sets the stage, many of our favorite altcoins like XRP, Ethereum, all those will follow along. That is the beautiful part. I don't care that much about Bitcoin, realistically, right? It's mostly the altcoins that make it, or that make you. And I've said that before in this video also. In the start, I basically said, well, let's quickly go back.
My opinion actually are. And so let's quickly start with a little basket of coins I recommend to everybody that's got a pretty good chunk of money, meaning thousands of dollars, you know, because that's a pretty good chunk in the investment landscape, or is in a phase where they'd rather just make sure they have some money and they're not in the mindset of go big or go broke. For all those, I'd suggest Bitcoin and Ethereum. I'm not a financial advisor. These are just my thoughts as a base in their portfolio. What I mean is, if I had to think of a currency that has the highest probability of staying the same, if not slightly higher, and beat inflation, beat the dollar, etc., I'd say Bitcoin. If I'd say that same, but then with a slightly higher multiplier to do well, I'd say Ethereum, but there's the caveat that they might be sued by the SEC or something kind of sketchy might happen in that regard. So it's a little bit below that. Sometimes I get afraid I might be bit by a bug or something, you know? So if I'm scratching my butt, you're wondering, Dusty, what the frick are you doing? Hey, man, in the jungle or in the mountains or whatever, you can't be too certain it's not something actually scratching your butt. Little tip from old Dusty right there. So those two I always recommend as a base layer because they're least volatile for the most part, or at least safe.
And anyway, to get back to that story. So two Pauls might be asking, what are we watching you for? Damn, it's actually just to explain the strategy over years. So to get back on it, what I could say now is, again, hey, buy, shut up, buy. But for people, they always say, maybe I shouldn't. But then now I showed you a video from me 2 years ago almost saying, hey, these are the ones I would buy. And if it goes bad for a while, that's fine because you know where it's going to end up over the next few years. I have the same videos of me no, I don't think so. I think about 8.5 years ago or so of me saying as well, I think this crypto stuff is going to really pop off at the start of 2017. But if I show you those, to some extent, I think people realize that over time this works out. On the short term, it may not. On the short term, you may lose money. It may look awful, all those things. But over a longer term, it does. Back then at this time, cryptos were doing bad, right? A lot of coins were not doing beautiful at all. I don't even know what the XP price was at, but it was awful for the most part because this is somewhere at the end of 2023. Almost nothing was pumping back then at all. Yes, Bitcoin made a high a year earlier or something like that. Oh, sorry, the low a year earlier. But still, almost nothing popped off. So I sometimes like to look back at the videos, and this was just really the real me just sitting there in the jungle talking to everybody. I wouldn't call this jungle really, right? But it's just the mountains, I guess. And I think sometimes it's important to look back and realize over the years how things would have turned out if you just, quote unquote, believe in the longer term vision. So that's what I'm doing right here. I was just showing you guys a little snippet of that because I think that's the most important thing. I can give you all the news in the world, but nothing beats just time in the markets and having a bit of faith in that sense. Because all you got to do is just shut up, open some longs. That's what I think, right? Make sure they don't get liquidated and you make a ton of freaking money. If you do not end up a millionaire after 2 cycles, you either started with absolute zero and your first whole grind was getting to like $100. That's one. But if you're watching this video, I'd say, hey, that's not a good job then. Or assumption number 2, I guess there's 3. One is something crucially bad happened. You made a big mistake. You lost all your funds. And option 3 is you're stupid. Not stupid in the sense that you literally have no brain. It just means your actions have not been proper for the opportunity you've been given. Because I keep saying, you're not early to crypto if you're starting now, for example. But you have the time to make a lot of freaking money because the real exponential wave of this cycle hasn't even come yet. And so from that angle, there's so much money to be made in a very short amount of time. By the way, guys, just quickly, feedback. How's the stream doing? Because I see we've been dropping a bit. So has the stream been laggy? Otherwise, I quickly change over to different internet. But depends. If you guys say it's laggy, then yes. Otherwise, I'll stay like this. We can always switch later, though. And by the way, if you've not done it yet, make sure you go ahead and press the like button on the stream. We have about 200 people watching, about 35 likes pressed, because it's very, very early in the morning, at least for most people. This is usually not where we peak at, but I thought, hey, you know what? Since Bitcoin is making an all-time high right now as we speak, I decided to just quickly open a stream, talk to everybody that's inside still, get a little thought experiment going. And as a side note, where are you guys watching from right now? November Kilo says, maybe they got mad because you get the percentage from the bots. So you can always make your own bots. There's literally nothing harming you from doing that. I think people get tired because a lot of people do not want to use bots. And so if I keep talking about it, it's annoying in comparison to news. All right, we got Sweden. We got Arkansas. We got Brazil. We got London, UK, Portugal, Chicago, Texas, Melbourne, Singapore. London just woke up. Quality. He just woke up. Interesting, huh? On a Thursday. Just now. South Africa. Mass. I'll be going to Monaco in a little bit because this is Formula One weekend. So I'm just preparing everything. Yabba dabba doo! Oh man, I'm so excited. I hope you guys are having that too. The problem is, like, your portfolio should not be at an all-time high right now. This is another funny thing. A lot of people think that because Bitcoin is going absolutely ballistic, that you should feel rich. No. I think most people are not at a portfolio all-time high yet. It's most likely going to come soon, though. And when I say soon, I mean, well, if Bitcoin sets the stage, mostly altcoins tend to follow, and that's where you make the real money. Bitcoin going up tends to not make people most of the money because most people do not have that much in Bitcoin. Well, yeah, I think in general. If you ask crypto holders what their biggest holding is, it might be Bitcoin if they've got a lot of money, but it will probably not be Bitcoin if they're, new into it or don't have that much in it. Theo says, I haven't slept, can't afford to lose opportunity. I mean, it depends on what you're doing, right? It really depends on what you're doing. As in, if altcoins start to flourish, are you going to be the person to buy into that wave? It's difficult. Leon also said, I tried to use the bots, but if you're signed up from the US, it takes you to a US site. You have to verify your identity. Well, maybe use a VPN. I don't know. I believed it doesn't even say. Let me ask about that. I'll ask later. Because that's interesting. Because I saw some people say some comments about that, but I'll quickly take a picture, send it over. Because I don't believe you go to a US site. I thought it's only when you press US in there. But I'll take a look. I'm not from the US, I don't know. But I'll try with my VPN again to see how that works. St. Louis, Missouri, Australia, Poland, evening shifts, easy life. Yeah, for some people, it might still be like nighttime, right? They've not slept. We're up bright and early. Starting the day, rolling some fry. Again, everybody who says it doesn't work, I'll remind you that I have not verified my ID. The country you're in for bots does not matter. You can use any country anywhere. You just have to not, they ask you what country are you from. And you just say freaking, I don't know, Belgium or Australia or something like that. That works. If you're putting UK or US, even though it's not allowed in the country, it's not smart, my friend. Yeah, but for me, it works. I mean, I can literally sign up from the UK. Nothing happens. Also, I know it works because a lot of people from the US are using it. There's nothing stopping you, right? They can't check it. They don't know. They don't care. It's only if you put in the wrong country, they'll maybe double check and you can't use it. But you say to text your IP? All right, I'll take a look at that. Then you need to use a VPN, I guess. But I'll take a look. Let me ask now, matter of fact. There we go. I've asked. Let's see. Let's see what they say. Alchemist, welcome back, my friend. Yeah, so as it currently stands, we're basically waiting for the real massive wave to hit. The real massive gains to give us a run for our money. Because, I mean, right now, trust me when I say it's fun to watch all this stuff go, right? It's fun to watch Bitcoin go on a bit of a pace and many altcoins some percentages up. But we want the, oh my God, Hyperliquid is going crazy, huh? 20% up. Why, by the way? If you want to know a funny story, it's because of that guy. Let me quickly find it here. Oh, by the way, do you guys remember the video I was making a few days ago talking about never sell the bottom? I wonder who did, all right? I wonder how many people actually still sold the bottom because they do not listen. And again, I'm not your financial advisor. I don't expect you to listen, as a little dog or something like that. It's just as a piece of logic. Well, it almost never makes sense to sell the bottom because cryptos perpetually have gone up, and they most likely will continue to do so. Same for selling your indices, the S&P. If you're selling at a loss, why are you doing that? I don't know why. Maybe as a tax write-off so you can buy cheaper and then, maybe get the tax for a different year or something like that. But in general, I don't know why you do that. Or if you're hedging and you're doing something like that, but otherwise, why? Leon says you need to use a VPN. I didn't put in any country. It wouldn't let me get that far. Okay, I'll ask. Maybe that's maybe that can be fixed. All right. Look on Chain says top trader James Nguyen closed a 540 Bitcoin position 20 minutes ago, realizing a profit of 1.5 million. Now that is not too crazy, 1.5 million specifically for James Nguyen because he's the guy. Just quickly do my nose here. Who over the past day or so has been opening $1 billion worth of Bitcoin longs. He still holds about 10,000 Bitcoin. $1.07 billion with an unrealized profit of 28 million, which right now obviously is even slightly higher, I'm guessing, because he's been averaging into Bitcoin hard. Well, actually, no, he's been averaging out for the most part because he bought in the dip and then closed again. I guess he closed his Bitcoin position there for a profit of 600,000. Was a big position, 250 mil. Then he opened 350 mil, profited $6 million. Then he closed it for $8.8 million, or 600 million. And then he closed 60 million, a position for about 1.5 mil. But I think somewhere in the midst, yeah, you can see here, we can actually open it over on Hyperliquid. We can see that he's been, what a maniac of a person this guy's been. To have a freaking $1 billion worth of a position open, huh? Like, how do you even handle that stress? I don't know. I mean, well deserved for him making all the money, but I really wonder if this is actually his account or not. I do wonder still. I'm still not 100% sure. And is this an insider? When I made a video, a lot of people said this must be an insider or something along those lines. Too Big Paul says that might automatically trigger KYC too. Okay, I'll take a look at that. Adam says most people sell because they have to. Yeah, you've got a point. I do. Don't get me wrong. I do understand a lot of reasons to sell. Actually, this is from a perspective of if you have the opportunity to not do it. Doug says trying to withdraw funds from Blowfin. Says I need to verify email and phone. Is this normal? I use VPN. Do they look that deep into area code when verifying? No, I don't think so. I think you can have any number. Worst case, you can also do is just get a freaking eSIM from anywhere across the world. Get a different one, get a UK one. It might be free, even might cost you $10. So you have a different SIM from a different country. But I don't think they ever look into all that stuff. If they do, you can always email them and chat support them and ask. But if that's an issue, Doug, send me a message on Twitter, for example. I'll help you out. In that sense, if it turns out that withdrawing is an issue because you have the wrong phone number, but I can't fathom that would be something. Because even if you're from the wrong place, you can always verify your money. Always withdraw your money 90 out of 100 times. They just cannot, accept your business no more, but they'll still let you take your money out. With legit places, that is. If it's a really sketchy place, Trump Jr., yeah. All right, also next week, we've got Bitcoin Las Vegas. I'll probably be going there. But another funny thing with Bitcoin Las Vegas is now we're at highs, right? Now the Bitcoin price is soaring. And it's interesting to see a Bitcoin event and how crazy the parties get when Bitcoin is trading at an all-time high. Like, I think that's going to be a very, very interesting endeavor. Arya says should be short. I don't know why it's short. Like, if you are very confident in your strategy, yeah, you can short. Otherwise, shorting the top for Bitcoin when it's just potentially a local top, not the peak of the cycle, that is very, very scary. From this angle, right, looking at it, we've just broken out of this multi-month downtrend from December to now. We have finally broken out above that top. If you want to short here, that is scary, my friend. That is extremely scary. Adam says, what are you realistically thinking XRP goes to this bull run? I hear you talk about it a lot in the past. I talk about it almost every day. Whenever I make a video, we'll talk about XRP. We do talk about the price. But the long story short is there's potential for a couple of different price targets. But I currently still stand by like $10, $12 as a baseline. In better scenarios, $20, $25. But it depends on how hard Bitcoin goes as well. Tommy says, technically, Bitcoin didn't hit an all-time high. The dollar is super low. In euro, it's not a new all-time high. Oh, luckily, nobody cares about the euro. Then, Tommy, just to pinpoint it, it did still make an all-time high versus the dollar then, right? Which is the only one that people do care about. But no, seriously, did it not make one versus euro? You're right. You're right. Well, it's actually very far off even. What? That's funny as shit. Wait, what? All right. It was 106,000 euros in the past, and now it's only 97,000 euros, huh? Interesting. Interesting. Dusty, where are you on the circle purchase? Ripple circle purchase? Did a new update come out? Otherwise, I don't care. Whatever they want to do, that's good. It would be really good for them, for Ripple, for XRP, I don't know. Let's see. Huh. All coins are pumping, huh? I mean, not so severely, though. Just looking at this list, there's nothing really that stands out that is going absolutely crazy. It's just a few memes that are up in the double digits. But even then, it's not crazy double digits that these are up. Like, crazy double digits is plus 50, 60%, all that stuff. This is just, you know, good. Literally, the best way I can describe it is just good. 25% up for S&P or SPX. 20% up for 𝗕𝗏𝗀𝗏 quality asset. Dog with hat, which I'm still down tremendously on, by the way. If you guys want to see my BIBIT position, it's still down, what, 800%, something like that? Even though it's up tremendously over the month, it's up 160%. I'm still down 800%, I think, or 700%, something like that. Because we started longing it at $4.60 some. Yeah, because I believe it got a Coinbase listing, and every single meme coin after that, after a Coinbase listing, pumped for a bit. So we were also speculating that WIF was going to do the same. It didn't, and the bear markets, like the short-term bear market thing, started. XRP, as it currently stands, is not yet in its bullish phase. We're just going sideways, kind of boring right now the way things are moving for XRP, but give it some time. Give it some time. It'll come to terms, and things are about to get crazy still. At least I believe so. Let's see. Bitcoin always winning. Yeah, I mean, honestly, most of these coins, you always win, even if you're not talking Bitcoin. It's just timing, man. It's all about timing. And if you've got enough patience, you win on almost anything. It's not hard to win. Really, it's not. And again, that's why I was showing earlier the video of me in a freaking hammock talking about my top crypto coins right now in October 2023.
It's going to be another DeFi run. So Ava and man yesterday just grabbed one of them with his hand. I thought, you know what? That's why and I saw a man yesterday just grab one of them. Position. Got a little scared because of that wasp. I'm a little baby when it comes to big ass hornets, guys. I'm going to be honest with you here. I am messing around with them. I'm in their territory right here. And I saw a man yesterday just grab one of them with his hand. I thought, you know what? That's why I appreciate Pakistan man, you know. They, or maybe even Nigerian man, whatever. They got that furiousness. You know, me as a European baby, no, I ain't doing that. I ain't grabbing a wasp with my freaking hands. Somebody's looking at me, by the way, because they're looking like, why are you recording in the middle of a freaking mountain? They're like annoyed, I think.
What's wrong with me? Oh, interesting. Yeah, but anyway, the video here, the main thing was, it was all about the coins that I'm buying for the next bull run or something like that. And I remember a lot of people said, yeah, but there were a lot of skeptics in the comment section. Let me look back at it now. Let me look at another one of those comments. Maybe things have faded over time, huh? Maybe it was not on this video, but it was just people commenting, and then I decided to make a video on it. Interesting. I don't know. Let me quickly find out. This was October of 2023. Let's quickly take a look, just for fun. So Bitcoin, just to put into perspective, this is what, October? 31st October. Okay, so it's a bit at the end of the month. So as of that point, basically Bitcoin was $33,000 when we made that video, right? So it was that week, things were on the up and up, things were doing good, but it was basically $33,000 back then. Let's see XRP for fun, huh? What was XRP at? 31st of October 2023. Let's see. XRP, when I made that video, was about 56 cents. And right now it's what? $2.43. And back then, a lot of people also did not think we're going to start going crazy. But somebody says helmet behind you. Who's it from? It's a helmet I got from OKX, I believe, from McLaren. I don't remember. I got it when I went to F1 a while back in, I believe, maybe Singapore. I think it's just a cheapy thing. I think you could probably just buy it for like $20. But, you know, it's a nice gift, I guess. Yep. What AI coins are good right now? Honestly, the AI wave is not at peak right now. Chris says, okay, I thought it was a real one. I mean, it's a, brother, it's a bit small, no? Like, theoretically, it's a real one because they gifted it to me. The people that, you know, obviously are right here on the freaking helmet who are sponsoring McLaren. But I don't know what type of head you think I've got, brother, but, you know, that's not happening, all right? If I really try hard enough, even then it will not work. Sometimes it's good to give up. That's a little side note. Anyway, so what are your overs and unders on spam? I don't know what that means. So you've sold your XRM, bought XRP. What is XRM? I've never heard of this, my friend. No, I don't think so. Andrew says, just tuning in from New Zealand, about to go to bed, but wonder what XRP will be when I wake up. Any guesses? I'm not 100% sure it is going to do anything too crazy. It depends on Bitcoin's pace. If Bitcoin continues on, there's a good chance XRP is going to also flourish overnight. But if Bitcoin, you know, ends it up here for the short term, then, well, I'm going to say Ethereum is the king, though, this time around. Like, Ethereum is showcasing where altcoins lead. Ethereum now moving out, going to 2660, and kind of back then going to 2700, that move. Because it shows, again, that altcoins are back. If Ethereum stays so low, people always keep saying, but even Ethereum didn't make an all-time. But the moment that Ethereum breaks all-time high, it's kind of go time for everything else. I'm not a big Ethereum fan this cycle. I think many altcoins will significantly outperform it, but it still always kind of remains king to some extent, right? Adam says, will this run be bigger than 2017? Relatively, no. I think 2017 was the craziest because it was kind of like new to everybody, right? So whenever a coin started running, everybody knew about it. Now there's runners everywhere. So for example, back in 2020 and 2021 even also, when a meme coin started popping off, no, let's say 2021, when a meme coin started popping off, everybody knew of that meme coin. You know, think of SafeMoon, for example. Everybody starts to know about it. Now, there's multiple meme coin runners every day, every week. Like, if I don't pay attention to the crypto space for a week, there will have been 3 or 5 or 6 different altcoin waves, meme coin waves, and meme coin moves, and this, that. So, my answer would be, it's never going to be as big as back then. But to counter it, right now, obviously, the amount of money that we're moving in a day is so much higher that, theoretically, it's the biggest run by far ever. There's millions of new coins now. There's millions of new people, tens of millions even. So from that angle, yes, this is going to be the biggest we've ever seen, for sure. Alchemist says people are broke this run. No, I'd say theoretically they should have been broker in the Corona times, right? So they should be richer, way richer this time around, you think? Because the stock market has been flourishing also. And institutional money has now joined the game, so they have multiple different new entryways. You're saying no degenerate money? I think degenerate money will always come. But it's a little bit later in the cycle, not now. I also just bought a new watch. I got a bit tipsy a few nights ago, and I decided to buy something new. But I will not show you yet, because it's kind of cool. It's all I can say is it's platinum, for all you that do care about watches. It's a nice one. Platinum. I really want to show you, but I should not. I'll show you later. Arya says, up 2,000 on my soul short. Amazing, brother. You're a risky individual, dog. You're shorting Solana? Oh, my God. That is interesting. I mean, theoretically speaking, you picked a good time. This is XRP, I think, yeah. In terms of the fact that things are moving down. But, hey, no, risk-reward-wise, I couldn't do it, man. How dare you short at this level? Oh, my days. Damn. I also found my old watch again. So, let me quickly grab it. You know, this is my OG watch. I've not worn this one, in so freaking long. I just found it somewhere. I love this watch, though. It's like old and gold. Give it a little kiss. Heard they're taxing 5% in Dubai now. True. 9% for business. But there's no personal tax, no. Most taxes, or 5% might be VAT that you're talking about, but they've had that for a long time. Buzz shopping is the best. No, brother, cannot recommend. Cannot recommend to nobody. Don't do buzz shopping, all right? It was a really expensive little purchase because I was like, who cares? Let me just buy it. The next morning I was like, why did I actually do that? But I like it. Gold is the best. I mean, for watches or in general? Let's see. AI take over the world says, look dumb more. Open today, gonna red. Interesting. Interesting take. I mean, Bitcoin is severely outperforming stocks as a whole, though. So, yeah. By the way, there's now a new overview. Let me quickly see if I can find it. Where is it? Oh, I think it's here. There's now a new overview where you can see all my bots at once, by the way. See how it's going? And you can sort them probably by total P&L. I'm not sure if this is already finished. There we go. Yeah, I remember yesterday in my video I said the only bot that I wish I opened with more size out of all of them is the Ethereum one. Because I would just wanted to open a XRP, Bitcoin, and Ethereum massive bot. But the only one I didn't do was Ethereum because I was like, I'll do it later because it was at 2,100 pumping so much. And it just went from 1,700 or something like that to 2,100 in that day. It was up 20% when I top blasted. And then all of a sudden, now you see Ethereum's almost at 2,700. It's kind of funny. I did top blast a little bit again at 2,580 or something like that. And right now it's 2,670. But still, it's a bit strange. Tops is, what's going on? I see you're Monaco now. No, Monaco, the race is only tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday. So I'm not there yet. But if you guys have tips on what to film, do let me know. Because I literally do not know. Like, I bought a camera, like I said, just a small one. So I don't have to carry the big cameras every single where I go. But, you know, it's kind of hard to realize, like, what type of picture are you going to take? What type of video? Because I've never done it. I was struggling with that, or at least I'm struggling with that now mentally, to think about what I'm going to make. Because I really want to put more videos out there, because a lot of people ask for it. But I don't know. What is your thoughts on 𝗲𝗄𝗃? I've never have to deal with 𝗲𝗄𝗃 ever in my life. So I don't know. In terms of the coin, right? ACH you're talking about. I've never really dealt with it at all. But also, I kind of wonder how people come up with all those cryptos. Like, why go to such an obscure one? And my title of the video was, or the stream was, all of us are about to get rich, something like that. Bear Spray says, rich, most of us, let me see what he says. Most of us are not trading with your amount of money. So let me get you back with the story of, do you remember how I started? I started because somebody gave me $20 in a giveaway. You don't have to start with anything. If you just keep saying, yeah, I don't have your money, that's like some, but I don't think that's you, by the way. I'm just giving an example. If somebody's saying, yeah, but I couldn't do that because I don't have that amount of money, you got to work for it, man. You know, it's not going to come out of its own. You can start with $1, even $0, make millions in a year. You might not make it. You know, not everybody will do it. It's possible. If you say, you know, I couldn't do it, it's because of you. Literally, the only thing stopping you from making millions of dollars is you, nobody else. Can you do it? 100%. 100%. Because, again, there's always this other saying of, let's say, right, you had 3 years now to make $1 million, or your whole family dies, and just naming an example. And you need to do it ethically, so no, you know, officially scamming people. Could you? Most people, not everybody, but most people say, like, well, probably I can do it. Because you're going to work your ass off and think differently of it. Now, again, is everybody going to be able to do it? No. Maybe some of their families have to die, unfortunately. But a lot of people would try so significantly harder than just like, no, I couldn't, nah. And here again, often people comment saying, yeah, but it's so easy for you because. Man, I've been making these videos, for example, 8 years in a row. At the start, I was making videos with my not even $100 invested, right? And that grew over time. And then in one cycle, things did really, really well. So again, Bear Spray, I'd like to rephrase. This is just, I don't like your negativity, my friend. So again, he's saying, yes, but if I'm trading now with $20 to start somewhere, I'm not getting rich. Again, if you can't get rich, that's your problem. Literally that. I almost want to get angry. I'm not really angry. But the point is, if you now think your $20 is not going to get you rich, you can never get anywhere in life, my friend. Literally, your max is so freaking low. I don't think you're destined for anything great if that's your mindset now. I only have $20. I cannot get rich. What? How in the world are you thinking that? Of course you cannot get rich then. But people can. I think anybody else who thinks they can will be able to do it. But if you're not even believing in yourself, nah, you ain't going to achieve nothing in your life. You're literally in that aspect not going to make it. It's almost impossible to make it if you already think, oh, but I couldn't do it with my money. What's that? Who thinks like that? That is crazy talk. All right. I don't know. Your parents should teach you differently to think, you know, beautifully, you know, and think of a broad horizon, not limit yourself so much with those thoughts, man. And again, you don't have to write it down every day, but then again, there are some beautiful books on that. Raven says you can't get rich with $20. Very difficult. Who said anything about it being easy? Who said anything about that? It's possible is the point. So you got to work hard for it. Some people will not make it, but at least you've tried. Right? And again, even I got rich off of $20. Remember that. I'm the living example. It happened within a year. It's even like only 6 months or so. So it can't be done. It can't be. I'm a living example. I'm almost getting worked up now. But I hate it so much when people say, but I couldn't. I'm good. Oh, but shut up and just work for it. You know, stop talking and just get to it. Bear Spray says, I'm relating this to your thumbnail. I don't even know what the thumbnail is. I just make a random one. Or I clicked a random one. I don't even know if I made it today. But again, so just to give back on that, you know, theoretically speaking, your $20 could actually, for example, with one proper long, act as, let's say, 500, right? So we're doing 25x, for example. Now, let's say that was an XRP, and you caught that move from 50 cents to $3.40. We can actually calculate that. But simply put, let's just say you were acting as $500 and the price went times 7. So now your position is worth $3,500-ish. Is that easy? Was that something most people would have achieved? No. But let me refer back to you. Do you remember my account on Bybit that I have open? Let me see if I can open it real quick here. Maybe not. I'm not so sure if I can. Let's see. If I'll show you one trade. Remember, I put $1,000 into XRP. I'll show you here. So you can't perfectly, yeah, it's going to be hard to see. But can I turn my camera around for a second? Give me a second. Let me transform this, flip horizontal. There we go. So you can see, maybe, this is it in front of my face. Okay, this is going to be difficult. So this is $1,000 that I put in, right? 1,300. It's in 53-ish thousand dollars worth of profit with $1,000. So just to put it in perspective, 1,000 turned into 60,000 with XRP. XRP is huge. Try your luck a bit more with some smaller coins. And again, it might not work, but, you know, it can happen. What is rich? I don't know. Everybody's different what rich is, I think. Thyro says, some people say that Pepe could be the SHIB from the last bull run. Pepe was the sheep of the last bull run already. Like, Pepe did incredibly well. It overtook almost anything. Like, Pepe is not a small coin, my friend. Pepe is huge. The Shiba Inu of last cycle, it's already, what are you talking about? That already happened. If you're talking about the Dogecoin, perhaps, okay. But, like, Pepe maybe even overtook Shiba Inu at some point. I don't remember. But theoretically speaking, memes are some of the highest probability, the memes theoretically have the highest probability of crazy amounts of success in a bull run, but they also will go down most. So, for example, that whiff, it's up 160% from the bottom. It skyrocketed. Brett is up 130% from the bottom. It skyrocketed, but they're also down tremendously from their high points. And I always say, if you want to make money almost guaranteed, you got to lock in and just become a professional meme coin guy. That's what I always say. But that takes like more than a full-time job and a lot of connections. Now, you don't need those connections up front, but you need to start being in all the group chats, etc., etc. But that's one of the best ways I think that can happen. Especially if you got very little money, you don't want to pull a lot of liquidity, you can take a lot of moves. But I'm thinking about it. What else would the best method be? If you're not a meme coin type of guy, then I think another one, because I'm thinking Bitcoin, XRP, Ethereum. XRP could do pretty well, but even then, if you got $20 and you're not using any leverage at all, it's not going to be that much, right? It's harder to flip-flop it in a cycle. But if I'm thinking back as to what my strategy was back then, it's mostly a rotation game. So you got to just, if the bull run is in peak market phase, so it's in the peak of the peak, there tends to be runners every single day. There tend to be runners that go up 40%, 50%, 60%. And if you're buying those, hoping to get another 10% out of them, 20%, and you keep locking that in day by day by day, yeah, you can make something out of it. But if you're just investing it in one thing and hoping for the best, obviously it's quite a small chance of it working. But hey, it's possible. But then again, if you got $20, I don't think XRP is still one of your best coins, right? Unless, again, you're using some heavy leverage and you're getting some good timing in. But almost any of these coins at the top here, I don't think are in the best of positions to make you tons, because they're already too big, right? Like, relatively, they're going to make you significantly less money. But they have a high probability of success, which also is important. Player says, if XRP goes to $3, we got to make a bet for Dusty, though, to do. For at $3? $3 doesn't do anything for me. Like, why would $3 be special? It's going to hit $3 very soon, in my opinion. So that means nothing. If we're talking like $6, that's pretty interesting. Or maybe $5 even, just as a round number. Or not round, you get what I mean. Like an interesting number. Quant says, if you had 100,000, made 100,000 off of meme coins, you wouldn't be talking in live chat, or you're just too stupid to see why. Why would that be? I don't know why you could not talk in a chat if you made $100,000. Are you all of a sudden then too good to talk in a live chat? If you made a little bit of money, really? That's interesting. Interesting take. Interesting take. I disagree, very much so. I don't think your net worth has anything to do with how much you're chatting. There's literally people with probably hundreds of millions of dollars who like chatting online on freaking Reddit and do nothing else. There's probably people like that. Theoretically speaking, Elon Musk is a bit of a meme lord. You know, a lot of people would say, no, a billionaire would never do that. Whoa! Wait, what? Wait a minute. Wait. Wait, what? What? Of course I would. Nah. Oh. Whew. Whew. Let's see. Man, the discussions today are interesting. Dusty, are you collecting things? Yeah, I do collect a lot of different cards. There's a few cool ones I have that I just found. I think these are the brokey ones, but because I'm holding it with my hands. Let's see. I got some Pokemon. What is this? I got some Dragon Ball cards. I got some Dragon Ball card. I don't know any of these. They're all from Japan. Some Mew, some Lugia. I think these are all the brokey ones. I don't think any of them is more than a couple $100. If I don't even know what the freak this Pokemon is. I've never seen this thing in my life. This I don't know also. These are all newer Pokemons. I don't know. Oh, this one I know. Zekrom or something like that. Palkia. This one I remember also. Yeah. So yeah, I do have some cool cards. But these are the ones that I have just laying around here. Dusty, do you think FC Twente will beat NEC tonight, or NEC or whatever? I have to know where to place my bet. No, I don't know. I have no idea, my friend. Your guess is as good as mine. Do you do any stocks or just crypto? Yeah, I do stocks. Stocks are amazing. But the problem is, I always think it's like stocks I only have for diversification and so I can sleep better at night. You know, it's like the idea that I have cash or gold or stocks is just so I can be like, or houses or watches. So I can kind of think about the idea of me having more. But in reality, I don't care enough for stocks. Like, because I know crypto will outperform almost any single day of the week. Does do you own a jet? No. I don't think that will happen anytime soon. I don't think that will ever happen, but let's see. Who knows, right? Never say never. But I don't know. I don't know anybody who... No, I don't think I know anybody who owns a jet even. Maybe somebody that I do not know that well, if you know what you're, but not one of my close friends. I don't think anybody owns a jet. Many people fly jets, but then again, owning one? No, I think that might be a different ballpark. But even a lot of people have a lot of money. They just don't own jets. Same for boats. Most people, they don't like owning boats because it's such a liability. Owning a boat is a fucking boatload of problems. It's an interesting one. Let's see. My biggest holdback is understanding technology and knowing how/when to buy or sell. That's actually pretty easy. You literally always buy and you sell when it's up. That's literally all you need to know when it comes to almost any financial asset that is like up only. Like cryptocurrencies for the most part have been, stocks have been, gold has been over time. Let's see. So the market's actually, interestingly enough, not doing too much right now as we stand. Like Bitcoin made itself that new peak at what? Officially $111.9 thousand. And then from there on forward, it's not done too much. Nothing too crazy. The discussion in the chat has gone to an interesting level. The 2 best days of ownership of a boat: the day you buy and the day you sell. I think that's the way for a lot of different things. I think cars are quite different because most cars actually keep their value quite well if they're in the upper segment. Watches can keep them quite well if you have okay timing. You know, obviously if you bought them in 2022, like I have for some of mine, yeah, they're kind of shitty. Even this watch I lost so much money on, but it's okay. But for the most part, I think boats and jets are awful. I think. Especially boats. I think boats is literally #1 worst thing to buy. But maybe I'm wrong, though. I can't think of anything else that's worse to own than a freaking boat. Okay, we're starting to move up a little bit again. 110.85-ish. But the altcoins also are not doing anything too crazy. 𝗕𝗏2661. Yeah, and I don't know if James Wynn has done anything new. Our crazy trader with his $1 billion position. No, I have no idea. Oh. So I guess he was also a 𝗕𝗏𝗀 insider maybe, huh? Interesting. Oh, actually, so this comment here is a proper one. So he had a good call on 𝗕𝗏𝗀. He said he called it at 600K. Might be an insider, who knows. But he says, I was born in the trenches, scraping by week for a 2x here and a 4x there. The #1 meme coin in the world propped up in front of me on iToken as I was looking for microcap meme coins. Loved it. Community formed right away with belief. I knew I was the one. That was the one. Aped hard, made 8+ figures, and now I'm gambling with the billionaires of the world on Bitcoin leverage. I come from a small shitty town in England that nobody gets out of. Knife, whatever. I had a dream. Crazy how life can change if you manifest and believe you can turn any future you dream of into reality. This is actually what we were talking about just now, right? If you want to make it big, kind of what the idea has to be. That if you kind of don't believe it already, if you don't believe that you're able to do it, it's not going to be possible. But theoretically speaking, you can just 2x here, 4x here as a part of it, or just find one right meme coin and make it big. You know, both work, I guess. Yeah. Interesting. But in terms of news, man, I don't know. I'd hope that maybe over the hour that we're streaming here, the prices would start going crazy. Nothing crazy happened here, though, over the short term. But again, if something crazy happens, I'll probably be back with yet another live stream or get you guys in the loop. Somebody asked me about TARS AI. Yeah, I'm still holding. Still okay. But AI coins are not in the craziest of hype right now. Actually, almost nothing is in a crazy hype point. I think just once altcoins start going, it's ape season again. Why am I saying it's only then? It's because we try to go with the momentum. You know, if Bitcoin right here just starts breaking down again, making a tiny all-time high, like it did back in the start of the year. You know, I don't think so, though. I think this is the time where things start going crazy. That's the only thing I think. But yeah, guys, that was about it for this little crypto stream. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed it. Actually, the viewers have been increasing throughout the stream. We're almost at 400 now instead of 300, so that's pretty cool. But I'll see you guys again in another crypto stream, hopefully somewhere soon, or video, maybe a little more later today. Maybe in Monaco. Who knows what I'll do. Make sure you press that like button if you enjoyed it. And I'll see you guys again in a little bit. If you want to join my bots, of course, links are down below for all those. And I'll take a look at other people in the US and UK to see if you can sign up or some. I'll be back on a little update for that.